That huge eagle above you. Just getting video.
So this is our site for the first night. This is English Cove. It's one of the smaller sites, but has one of the more open views. You can see the sun setting through the trees. We've got our firewood all set up for the evening. Jess is just finishing setting up our tent. We're going to get some supper on the go. So for supper, night one, we've got ham steaks with mushrooms and mashed potatoes. Instant mashed potatoes made from powder.
It's the morning of day 2. It's overcast but warm. We're just having some hot chocolate and coffee before we get some breakfast on the go.
How's your ham, green pepper, mushroom, and Swiss omelet there, honey?
Oh, it's delicious. You did a great job cooking it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The fire's being put out. The sun has come out, the temperature's rising, the kayaks are packed, and we're ready to go again. So we're just downriver from the Halls Brook site, which is where I stayed on my solo trip back in July. I was paddling around after supper and noticed that there's a creepy old abandoned camp up in the woods up here. So we stopped to check it out. See, there's the remnants of a bunk bed, a table, chair, fireplace. There's an old radio in here, candles, beer cans and bottles everywhere, flashlights, jar of peanut butter, cutlery. But this has been here for a while. Crazy.
a lot of water in my spring skirt.
So Jess just went over Little Falls for the first time in a few years. What'd you think?
My heart was beating, but I was determined to do it.
And you did really good.
Thanks.
We've made it to our site for the second night. We're back at Duck Point. This is where Adam and Everett and I stayed last weekend. We're going to stay here for 2 nights. We're just enjoying the sunset right now. Then we're going to get a fire on and get some supper going. So I usually pretty much just drink Caesars, but I just had one of those Snapple peach things. It was pretty good. What are you drinking now?
A Radler.
What kind?
Wheelhouse.
And you don't like it?
No, I don't understand how a Radler can taste bad. It's, I don't know. Doesn't taste like any of the other ones I've ever had before. Not very good. I can't even explain it. It's just bitter. It doesn't even taste like fruit. Well, now that it's starting to warm up a little, it's tasting a little bit better, and while I may not like what's inside the can, I appreciate what's on it on the outside of the can. Pack it in, pack it. Maybe all cans need this message.
So it's the morning of day 3 now?
Yeah.
Jess is enjoying a new book. What are you reading this time?
Rain on Fire.
You like it so far?
I do. It's very intriguing.
You're not very far into this one though.
No.
Good one to bring on a long trip. So for breakfast on day 3, we had some apple cinnamon pancakes with protein, which I've never had, but I actually really liked. Now we're finishing up some cucumbers before we make some wraps from our leftover meat for lunch.
With a life jacket.
Yeah.
We should go get those.
So you'll probably notice I've been wearing tape on my shoulder. That's because I actually have a rotator cuff injury, which is a pretty common thing among paddlers. It's because I've been overcompensating with this arm because of this bad arm from where I had a steel plate and stuff put in a few years back. Well, more than a few now, but anyway, it hurts. I've also got a pinched nerve in there, but I'll never let that stop me from getting out here and enjoying this. So day 3 is coming to an end. It was a good day. We got a lot accomplished today. Cut up a lot of wood. We went swimming. Actually, we went swimming all the way over to that rock over there. We had a few drinks, had a nap, had another swim to wake back up, had some supper. Now we're just getting the campsite organized a little bit before the sun goes down, getting our lights set up, warm clothes set out, all that kind of stuff. Gonna get the fire going again and relax for the rest of the evening. What's the size of this frog? Ew. Well, I'll wank right back at you, Mr. Froggy. So it's bedtime on day 3. We're closing in on the end of this trip. We're heading home tomorrow. It's a beautiful warm night tonight. We saw some heat lightning. We saw shooting stars the other 2 nights of the trip. Plus we saw the space station one night, so that was pretty cool. All in all, it's been a great trip so far. So we're getting ready to pack up. It's day 4. Head back to the real world. What'd you think of the trip so far overall, hon?
Overall, it's been good weather, good company. I don't like to see summer coming to the end, but I do like those crisp, cool mornings from time to time.
For September, it's been really nice weather this weekend, though.
It has.
So speaking of good company, we had a great big crew of company the day before yesterday when we arrived here. We stayed here for 2 days. There was like 35 guys. Was there 35?
24.
24. Close enough. They're from a construction company that actually sponsors their trip, their annual trip down this river every year, so that's pretty cool. They all had like matching t-shirts and koozies and hats and stuff.
They've been doing that trip since 2002.
2002, yeah. So that's pretty cool. It was a really good trip overall. Good weather, good food, good company. I don't really have much else to say than that, other than it was a great trip. Gonna pack up, get back on the water, go down to our takeout spot, and head home.